Welcome back to the Relius Reviews. Today's review is focused on Amazon original documentary entitled A Man Named Scott. And the official synopsis of A Man Named Scott is follows the music career of Kid Cudi from the release of Day and Night in 2008 through present day recordings. Friends and producers illustrate his story in conjunction with concert footage and never before seen behind the scenes footage. And before I give out my review, please like and subscribe and comment and tell me what I should review next. And when it comes with this documentary, I did like this documentary a lot. I found out a lot more about Kid Cudi the artist and Kid Cudi the person when it came to different things. And here is just my review on this documentary. And I would say maybe the first things that I enjoyed about this documentary was Kid Cudi himself. As Kid Cudi, he was honest, he was truthful, raw about his feelings, about how he felt when he was making albums. As I found out a lot more about this individual because I definitely do know who Kid Cudi is. I have definitely listened to many of his songs before. And I think this documentary just did a good job of just telling us who Kid Cudi the artist is, who Kid Cudi the person is. And you just got a glimpse of just his creative styles, like how he likes to make music, how he just likes to make new sounds and everything, discover new sounds, and how he's just like many people in this world going through like different battles and everything else. Another thing that I enjoyed about this documentary would probably have to be the interviews from many of the different artists, celebrities, producers that were in this, because there was a lot of just different people interviewed that either knew Kid Cudi, that worked with him, produced music with him and everything. Like, there was a lot of well-known names in this documentary that I was actually pretty surprised to see. Shia LaBeouf, the Smiths, Jaden and Willow. Like, I was really surprised to see some of the people that were in this documentary, because it just shows you just how much of an impact that Kid Cudi has had to them with his music, or just as a person, with just how truthful he is when it comes to many different things. There was a lot of different behind the scenes video footage, archival footage from interviews, and just rare footage of him just recording some of his songs that would become infamous from all of his albums, which I thought was a really nice touch and everything, because you just get to see the behind the scenes footage of just how he makes music, how some of the albums were made and everything. And also just concert footage as well from fans showing their appreciation towards Kid Cudi and everything else. And this documentary, in my opinion, it definitely does get a lot darker between the second half of the documentary. After they talk about the first album and everything, that is when things take a bit of a dark turn, as I felt like most of his albums after his first album, Day and Night, just got a little bit darker when it came to his issues as a person and when it came to his like music making. And there was even some times where he would absolutely refuse to talk about certain albums because he was in his darkest moments at that time in his own personal life. Like, he was dealing with personal issues, personal demons that he just did not want to talk to and everything. And I would say maybe the first things that I did not enjoy about this documentary was that I felt like between the first half and the second half of this documentary, I felt like there were more interviews of just the people involved in this documentary instead of just Kid Cudi himself. Like, Kid Cudi, he is definitely in the first half and the second half of this documentary, but I felt like he wasn't in it just like enough, if you know what I mean. Like, I wanted to see a little bit more Kid Cudi during the first half and the second half of the documentary, because there was just interviews just coming out of nowhere, just explaining just different things about Kid Cudi that I wanted to hear from Kid Cudi himself and everything. I would say another thing that I did not enjoy about this documentary was that I felt like they did not take enough time when it came to explaining some of his other albums after his first album and everything, because they talked a lot about his first album within like the first half of this documentary. I just wish that they would have spent just a little bit of more time just explaining some of his other albums. And honestly, I felt like this documentary could have been maybe a 2 to 3 parter and everything, because a lot of topics do get covered in this documentary, and I just wish that some of them were a lot more explored as well. And I would say that this documentary was a pretty good documentary in my opinion. It it just shows you how much Kid Cudi is appreciated through many different people, how he saved a lot of people as well with his music and just as a person, because he has gone through a lot of dark times, but his fans and his family has always been there to help him with just overcoming just different things. But how I would rate A Man Named Scott, the Kid Cudi documentary, out of 5 stars, I would probably rate A Man Named Scott maybe 4 stars out of 5. So I would say just thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.